Hey everybody, welcome back. We are continuing on today with 16th notes, and I'm going to not go back and do a recap of the other rhythms. We're going to get right to it because this video is going to be less than 5 minutes. We'll see if we make it. Here's the chart that you were looking at yesterday when we added 8th note to the mix, and now we're looking at something called 16th note. So as you can see, it looks similar to the quarter note and the 8th note. Right, so it has a stem going up and down, and the circle is filled in. But what's different about the 16th note? Well, the 8th note had one flag coming down from the top. The 16th note has two flags coming down from the top. That's how we know the difference. And the 8th note is worth a half a beat. The 16th is worth 1/4 of a beat. Okay, so don't worry too much about the math. Just worry about how these rhythms sound. So if you look over here, the 16th note, right now we're just going to be using them in sets of 4. So if you have 4 of them together, it equals 1/4 note. Okay, that's what you have to know. Memorize how that looks. And because we have the two flags coming down from the top, when you have 4 of them all connected together, there are 2 beams across the top. That will tell you the difference between an 8th note and a 16th note. 8th notes have 1 beam across the top. 16th notes have 2 beams across the top. Okay, 4 16th notes equal 1/4 note. All right. Let's look at another chart that we looked at yesterday. There's your whole note. There are your half notes. Here are your quarter notes in the middle. There are your 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now with the 16th notes at the bottom, we have some new counts. So we say, it's kind of a funny thing to say, but you'll get used to it. We say 1 E and a, all right, because we need 4 sounds all wrapped up into one beat. Okay, so look at your counts at the bottom. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay, so if I took my hand and I snapped quarter notes and I tried to fit those 16th notes in here, it would sound like this. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay, so the number goes with the first part of the 16th notes. And then the rest, the second one gets the E, the third one gets the and, the fourth one gets the. All right, so 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Those are our 16th notes. Okay, so let's see how this looks within measures. So here are, again, I'm not sure if my video was covering the screen or not. I'll see once the video was made. I'm sorry if it is, but you see 1, 2, 3, 4. You see 8 sets of 16th notes across the top, okay? All it is 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. That's all it is. You see we have our bar line right here. And again, when you're writing out your counts, you don't have to do the AN for and. You can actually use the plus sign for and. 1 E and a. It's the same thing. It means the same thing. 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Those are your 16th notes. So how many beats do you see on the screen? You have 8 beats. Because 4 16th notes together equal 1 beat. Here's 1 beat. There's the second beat. There's the third beat. And there's the fourth beat. There's our bar line. Here's the first beat. Here's the second beat. Here's the third beat. And here's the fourth beat. Okay, let's take one more look because we're at 4 minutes and 22 seconds. We're going to make it. Let's take a look at this chart that we looked at before. I want you to memorize how these are broken down. Okay, how once you split a note in half, it becomes a different type of note. Whole notes turn into halves. If you split those halves, they turn into quarters. You split those quarters, they turn into eighths. And you split the eighths, and they turn into 16ths. That is all for today. If you need to go back and listen to this video again, you have it. You can listen to it 1,000 times if you need to. Otherwise, tutoring is on Fridays at 3:10, and I'll see you there if you have any questions.